Once upon a time, in the illustrious assembly of the Avian Aristocrats, a meeting was scheduled with urgency that even a morning rooster would envy. The swans fluttered in with elegance, the cranes craned their necks with curiosity, the parrots parroted everything they heard. The cuckoos cooed in agreement with anyone who would listen, owls hooted notwithstanding the daylight, peacocks strutted with vanity, and the doves cooed innocence personified. Alas, not a single crow was to be seen, but they decided that time and feathered fortune waited for no bird. Garuda, the king of all birds, is busier than a woodpecker in a forest full of wooden doors, squawked a rather opinionated parakeet. He's out serving his master and hasn't a feather to spare for us. Thus, the avian anarchy whispered among the trees, "Let us elect a new king." The birds began eyeing each other like a hawk witnessing potential prey. Enter the owl, with a countenance that could make a courtroom retire early. With impressive feathers, formidable stature, and the elusive ability to see at night, they unanimously perched upon the idea of the owl as their new king. Preparations took flight at once. They gathered 108 holy roots, no more, no less, water from the holy rivers, collected by the ducks, naturally, and constructed a lavish throne, decorated with such splendor it made the peacock rethink his fanning ritual. However, just as they began the coronation festivities, swooped in the crow. Known for his mental acumen sharp enough to win a game of chess blindfolded, he inquired, "Dear feathered friends, tell me, why this gathering worthy of reenacting the birds?" Informed of the proceedings, the crow cleared his throat, a dramatic pause that landed harder than a pelican on a fish. "Caw, an owl is king? An avian who's blind as a bat by day? And my goodness, why have an ugly king when we are famous for our beauty?" Peacocks, swans, need I go on? A creature of the night ruling our daylight? I say nay. The avian assembly, who moments ago were as impressed as a kid at a magic show, began reconsidering. The wise crow's logic spread faster among bird kind than breadcrumbs in a city park. True, true, they chirped one by one, and like a magician's act gone sour, they started flying off. With feathers ruffled and half a drum roll in the air, even the Brahmins and the pretty maidens decided to disperse, leaving behind the lone crow in the shadow of an unfinished coronation. The owl, confounded as ever, asked his wife, "Did I miss a worm of wisdom here? Wasn't I the king in waiting just a blink of an eye ago?" To which the Mrs. Owl responded, "The crow convinced them all. With not a feather of compassion, they flew." A disgruntled owl turned to the crow. "Call me, you've thwarted me without cause. From today, an enmity eternal shall exist between us. Crows and owls, once indifferent, now rivals." And with that, the owl and his wife flew back, the feathered pride slightly bent but not broken. As the crow took to the skies, he couldn't help but caw at his own cleverness in retrospect regret. Why didn't I keep my beak shut? Maybe what they say is true. Sometimes it's best to let the worms squabble on their own. Indeed, the wise conclusion. Better sometimes to feather one's nest quietly and fly under the radar. Thus, from that day on, crows and owls only shared the sky, but never the gossip tree. And the wise indeed proclaim, "Keep your beaks sealed, lest you stir a storm."